What's up, Raptors fans? Welcome to the Ward Report. It's another day and some more trade rumors come up surrounding the Toronto Raptors. In fact, there was 3 separate trade rumors involving the Toronto Raptors. I'm also going to give you an injury update on Otto Porter Jr. as well. So if you're ready to watch this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you wish to hit the subscribe button as well, that would be very much appreciated. So with that being said, let's get into today's video. Now, as you guys know, I do like to give out shoutouts on my channel, and the shoutout for today's video goes out to Elmac Ulate. And I apologize if I mispronounced. I don't know if that's your official last name. You got to tell me in the comment section how to pronounce your last name, but thank you for your support. It is very much appreciated. Now, let's talk about trade rumor number 1 here. Now, this was one that actually just came out just as I was about to record the video. We got some news from NBA Central that tweeted out, Raptors willing to listen to trade offers for their core players. Now, this is obviously very interesting, given that the Raptors are kind of in a weird situation this season. But I'm going to break this article down for you guys. And it went on to state that currently they don't appear to be shopping any of their core players, according to multiple league sources, but they do seem willing to listen to offers, wrote Josh Lewenberg of TSN. For those who aren't aware, Josh Lewenberg is a Canadian reporter that reports on the Toronto Raptors. While they may be open to listening to offers for their core players, the Raptors seem to be asking for a lot for them. Their trade pieces priced for OG Anunoby and Pascal Siakam were recently described as a shitload. It makes sense as to why asking prices for those 2 players is pretty high. After all, they're 2 very impactful players that could help plenty of contending teams. Now, I'm also going to break the next couple trade rumors for you guys, and I'm going to be giving you my opinion as well. And this was reported again early this morning by NBA Central again, that Scottie Barnes viewed as the only true untouchable on the Toronto Raptors. And the next one was, this one was actually on Bleachers Report. It said NBA rumors latest trade price for Raptors, Scottie Barnes, Pascal, OG, and Anunoby. It went on to state that the Toronto Raptors have been one of the NBA's biggest disappointments in 2022-2023 season, limping to a 17-23 record, and that reportedly has much of the league paying close attention to the Raptors, per TSN's Josh Lewenberg, and in particular to the talented wing trio of Scottie Barnes, Pascal, and OG Anunoby. According to the report, the belief is that Barnes, the NBA reigning Rookie of the Year, remains the Raptors' only true untouchable, though it would take a king's ransom, as one source put it, for them to consider parting with Siakam or OG and Anunoby. Now, probably for those who are wondering, the Raptors are very unlikely to trade these players. Again, you have to take into consideration from the Raptors' point of view as well. They don't have to trade these players. Are they in a weird situation there where they want to tank or whether they want to compete? Yes, they're kind of sitting on the fence there, and they're very close to jumping on either side. If they go on a winning streak, all of a sudden everything changes. But if the Raptors were to lose 3-4 in a row, then all of a sudden they're leaning a little bit towards tanking, which changes everything. So again, the Raptors aren't set in their ways exactly as to what they'll do come trade deadline. This is why we're hearing so many conflicting rumors surrounding the Toronto Raptors. But I will say one thing. The Raptors have no desire to move Scottie Barnes, OG Anunoby, and Pascal Siakam. So that's why they're saying if teams are willing, they're willing to listen. Just obviously, you would be foolish not to even consider listening to what other teams could potentially offer you, because this is a good way to not only gauge the price market for your players, also to see what price other teams may be willing to give up for OG and Pascal. Now, one of the reasons I truly believe, and I stated this in my last video yesterday, that I believe the Raptors could potentially, again, maybe not so much OG Anunoby, but Pascal, maybe perhaps Pascal Siakam more than anyone else. When you take a look at the Raptors salary cap situation here, again, it's very complicated. You have Fred and Gary going into free agency this summer with player options, and they're going to get a pay raise. Again, that's assuming that the Raptors are to retain both of these players. And then you have Pascal Siakam, who the Raptors would be foolish not to re-sign this summer. You don't let a guy like Pascal Siakam, whatever you may think of him as a top 10, top 15, top 20 player, like that, or someone of his scale talent, you don't let him go into free agency next summer. You look to retain him and re-sign him this offseason. And of course, OG Anunoby, similar situation. So again, you have a lot of these guys as you go through the Raptors list and roster here. Precious Achiuwa is going to get paid next summer as well. So a lot of contracts are going to be coming up next summer, and the Raptors have to find a way to get creative with some of their contracts. They can't afford to pay every one of these guys $25 million, which is, if you're being completely honest, Fred VanVleet, Gary Trent Jr., OG Anunoby, Pascal Siakam's already making $25 million, but you're going to have 4 guys making $25 million. To be honest, that's not a really good way to construct a roster. You're going to be in a weird situation where they already are having very difficult time getting production from the bench. And then all of a sudden you sign these guys. This is literally going to leave you no wiggle room to not only not sign free agents, It's going to essentially depend on growth, which the Raptors are betting on. But it makes things very complicated if you're paying all of these players. Now, the first player I want to go through is OG Anunoby, because I know a lot of fans around the league believe they can get OG Anunoby for first round pick, a salary filler. Guys, trust me when I say this as a Raptors fan. We value OG Anunoby very highly. In fact, taking a look at his statistics here, he's only 25 years old. And as you'll note here, every single season, his point production has gone up. So why would the Raptors want to trade a guy like this? This is why they said it's going to take a king's ransom to trade these guys away from the Raptors. The Raptors don't have any desire to get rid of these guys. So if you have a valuable piece with you that you don't want to get rid of, obviously it's not going to be easy to, just trade for that player. So again, I want to quickly touch on OG's stats here. As you see there, he's been a great defensive player, but the league is finally starting to take notice with 2.3 steals a game, 18.2 points. He's a good 3-and-D player, and his offense is steadily increasing. Now, I know his three-point shot might be a little bit down this year. He did have a hand injury. And it's also due to the fact that the Raptors just overall have been kind of dysfunctional as a team. But again, overall, you'll notice the more field goal attempts he has taken every single season, his role has steadily increased. And also his field goal percentage has remained consistently around the 45-plus mark, which is really good. So the Raptors have absolutely no desire to trade OG Anunoby. One of the biggest things was his offense coming into the league, and he's proven to become a really good player. Again, taking a look at his free throw percentage here as well, one of the big things was, can he hit his free throws? And this season, he's hitting 83.6% of his free throws, which is huge for the Raptors. So steadily, he's increasing, and the Raptors have no desire to trade him. Now, let's talk about Pascal Siakam, because if there is one player between OG Anunoby, Scottie Barnes, and Pascal Siakam, I think the likelihood of one of these players moving, the most likely, I believe, is Pascal Siakam. Now, to quickly touch upon his statistics as well, you have to realize that this is a player that has just entered his prime. He's averaging 25.7 points this season, averaging 8.3 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and nearly a steal a game, while still hitting a decent, again, I know his three-point percentage could be a little bit better, 33.9% on 4 attempts per game, and his field goal percentage, 47%, is not bad at all either. He's a really good player who can do a lot of things for any team. So that's why a lot of teams are acquiring about the Raptors core, particularly guys like Pascal Siakam. If any contending team is out there, they're undoubtedly going to look at Pascal as one of the players that could definitely not only help your offense, your overall game. He's someone that can get his teammates involved. He can pass, he can rebound, he can run, he can defend multiple positions. Like, this guy is so talented. It's honestly insane that the Raptors would even consider. Again, this is just my opinion. I don't think the Raptors should consider trading him. And I'll give you my explanation here. I want to use this example before a lot of fans state that, well, you should move on to Pascal because the Raptors could potentially be tanking. I think you build around these guys. Like I stated, you don't normally get top 15, top 20 players in the NBA every single year. And one of the reasons you decide to keep Pascal Siakam is because he actually wants to stay with the Toronto Raptors. He's embodied the culture of the Raptors. And I want to use this example, taking a look at the 2019 NBA draft. I want to pinpoint, even if you are to trade Pascal Siakam, one thing you definitely need to take into consideration is that teams that would likely want to trade for Pascal will be contending teams. So their draft picks aren't going to be as high as you may expect. Again, let's use 2019 NBA draft here as an example. Now, obviously, you have your Zions and Ja Morant. But taking a look at this entire draft, how many of these players can you legitimately say right now, again, right now, not what they will be in the future, how many of these players right now can you say they are better than Pascal Siakam? Not a lot. Maybe Zion, maybe Ja Morant, but again, that's what I want to pinpoint. Like, you acquire these picks, they're going to be in the 20s. And taking a look at the 20s, I know Jordan Poole is there, but even taking a look at past, like, the outside of lottery, there's not a lot of guys. So let's be honest. Any of those names ring a bell. They're not even all-stars. Again, Jordan Poole is still ways away from being an all-star. He's having a good season. But none of these guys are players that you would potentially want on your team. So even if the Raptors do get a 3 or 4 first-round picks for Pascal Siakam, there's no guarantee they're going to get a good player just like him. Players like him don't come around every day. Let's use one more example here for you guys. I believe this is the 2018 NBA draft. And taking a look at this, again, there's Luka Doncic, there's Trae Young. I know there's some really good pieces. There's Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as 3 players you could argue that are better than Pascal Siakam. But outside of those 3 players, even in the top 10, like, there's only 2 players there that I would legitimately say top 10 again that are better than Pascal Siakam. So there's no guarantees. Like, take a look at past Shai Gilgeous-Alexander from the 12th to the 30th spot. How many of these players can you see are even half of what Pascal is? None of them. None of them are even close to his level what he's capable of doing. So that's why I want to preach to not only a lot of Raptors fans, but a lot of people that think that the Raptors should trade Pascal Siakam. I don't think so. You don't get players like him coming around every single day. Even if you get a draft pick in the lottery, there's no guarantees you get a good player like Pascal, who's just entering his prime. He's healthy. He's someone that wants to be with the Raptors. And this is an organization, let me remind you, that has trouble acquiring good pieces in free agency. So why would you want to trade a player like that? I think if anything, you build around Pascal Siakam. So again, this is my opinion, but we do have another rumor, not another rumor. We have an injury update to provide for you guys on Otto Porter Jr. And the Raptors announced today, Tuesday, that Otto Porter Jr., who was dealing with a toe injury, has undergone season-ending surgery on his left foot. The successful surgery was performed by Dr. Robert Anderson at Bellin Health, Titletown Sports Medicine and Orthopedics in Green Bay. This was a tough decision for Otto. He had hoped to avoid surgery, but ultimately a decision had to be made to ensure his long-term health. Raptors general manager Bobby Webster said, "We look forward to his health recovery." Porter averaged 5.5 points, 2.4 rebounds, 18.3 minutes in 8 games this season. He signed with the Raptors in July 2022 as a free agent. Now, this is obviously a really difficult position for the Raptors to be in because this offseason, they had hoped that they needed some bench help, and Otto Porter Jr. was supposed to be that. Like, he was supposed to be that key guy that provides spacing, that provides scoring off the bench. The Raptors desperately need it. We've seen the Raptors time and time again through several seasons, last couple seasons, where they have ranked dead last in scoring from the bench. And Otto Porter Jr. was supposed to be that key veteran that they could consistently rely on to bring in not only scoring, not only shooting, some good defense, and provide quality minutes, and also some rest for some of the starters. Now, this is a big loss for the Toronto Raptors. And I hear a lot of fans stating and blaming Otto Porter Jr. Guys, injuries like this is no one's fault. I know Otto Porter Jr. is injury prone, and it is unfortunate, but how can you honestly blame the guy? He was literally putting off surgery for quite a few weeks. We've been hearing reports about he's a month away. We don't know how long he's away. And he's been someone that was avoiding injury so he could play with the Raptors. So again, I know fans are frustrated. I am too, because he was supposed to be a key part of the Raptors bench. But I think it's a little bit unfair when we blame players for injuries. Again, we knew that he's a little bit injury prone, and it's unfortunate that he's had surgery. Let's wish him a good recovery. But I also had one last tweet to mention here with Bobby Marks that tweeted that Toronto has until January 15 to apply for a disabled player exception for Otto Porter Jr. The exception would be worth $3 million, 50% of his current salary. The approval process will focus on if the season ending left foot surgery would sideline Porter Jr. until mid-June, which is, again, very likely to happen. So this is obviously a lot for, I'm not exactly sure how this exception works in terms of what you're able to do, but if the Raptors do have $3 million, I believe they could sign any guy for that $3 million, which would be huge for the Raptors. There are always veterans out there, former NBA players that you could look to sign. So again, maybe the Raptors do that. They could use some bench help. So why not? Why not use that? This would be interesting to see. But again, there's been so many insane rumors surrounding the Toronto Raptors. Again, I'm not even touching upon Scottie Barnes because he's not getting moved, guys. We didn't include him in Kevin Durant, regardless of what people may think. We're not including him now. We're not trading him. He's part of the core moving forward. And obviously, OG Anunoby is one player I would absolutely not want to move on from either. I think the Raptors, if anything, should build around Pascal, OG, and Scottie. So again, I want to hear your thoughts on this. What are your thoughts on the Raptors rumors? How much of this is actually legit? Because we keep hearing conflicting rumors every single day. Before I even go to sleep, I'm hearing rumors from all sorts of different reporters. So I want to hear your thoughts on this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And as always, I do have a trivia question for you today. And that trivia question is, which team leads the league in offensive rebounds per game? Is it A, Timberwolves? Is it B, the Raptors? Is it C, Bucks? Is it D, Pelicans? Or is it E, Rockets? So whoever answers this trivia question correctly first in the comment section gets a shout out in my next video. So again, if you guys are still watching, guys, I truly appreciate the support. If you want to subscribe, that'd be awesome as well. And that will be it for today's video. So thank you so much for watching today's video. And I hope you guys have yourselves a great day.